Weights and Downer. You or someone close to you has just lost a loved one to someone's negligence. How did this happen? And why is it so hard to get information? In times like these, there is one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Weights and Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Weights and Downer.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And it's always nice to be able to visit with some of the people who have been dedicated and donating their time to teaching our kids. One of those people here at Terrebonne Parish School District, Dr. Debra Yarbrough. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you for having me here today.
Yes, ma'am. Very exciting. Director of Human Services for Terrebonne Parish School District. And you've been in teaching for a long time. It's hard to believe it's been that long because you don't look old enough. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you became the Director of Human Resources.
Okay. Well, my journey started working for the Department of Social Services as a protective service worker. And so I was going into the schools, checking on children, checking on families. And the more I went, the more I realized a lot of people didn't understand what a lot of these children went through. And so my way of helping that was becoming a teacher.
Wow.
So I switched from protective service worker into education.
Okay.
I went back to Nichols State University, got certified as a teacher, began here in Terrebonne Parish as a special ed teacher at Bayou Elementary School.
Yes, ma'am.
Worked with a dynamic principal there who encouraged me to seek administrative type positions.
Okay.
So I did that. So when I left Bayou School, I worked for the special education department as a facilitator. I was assistant principal at the School for Exceptional Children. I went to assistant principal at Caldwell Middle School, and finally principal at Elysian Fields Middle School.
Where I went to school.
Yes.
So thank you.
And was at Elysian Fields for about 8 years. Wonderful experience. Then I became assistant supervisor of personnel under Louise Whipple and former Superintendent Ed Richard. And when Ms. Whipple retired, I became the supervisor of Human Services.
Okay.
That's the new name. One time it was personnel, now it's Human Services. And in the last year, my title was changed to Director of Human Resources.
Well, as the director, you've got to be awfully excited about this recent news.
I am, because in Terrebonne Parish, we have some very dedicated teachers, principals, custodians, paras, cafeteria workers.
Everybody.
Everybody is a part of the success that is going on in Terrebonne Parish right now. And we're excited about it. I think it helps to validate teachers that their hard work pays off. And certainly it has been a good thing for our children. So we're excited about the success.
Yes. Terrebonne Parish School District is the #1 school district in the country for making the biggest reading gains among large school districts who also have low-income school districts as well. So one of 13 Louisiana school districts are where students have recovered academically, meaning their reading and math scores have surpassed pre-pandemic levels. And so that's just what the great news is for being #1. To me, it's even more remarkable, and I talk with Bubba Orgeron about this most often. We did it through the most devastating hurricane that's ever come through Terrebonne Parish.
That's right. Despite the pandemic, despite hurricanes, everybody just kept pressing forward, keeping before them the goal to do what was best for the children of Terrebonne Parish. And we are excited that to have this recognition.
Yeah, and again, it's a great recognition, but again, to me, it's even further surpassed by how difficult it's been. Because I got to tell you, going through COVID was one thing, the pandemic was one thing and how it affected people and kids. But Ida was something even more remarkable, as we lost use of most of our schools for at least some short period of time that we had to recover from. So while in recovery, the whole team, and I love the fact that you brought up the whole team. It's the bus drivers, it's the people who clean the rooms, it's janitorial. Everybody's important.
Yes.
They all have an important role to play in changing and shaping the lives of our students. For example, if we don't have a good maintenance team and it's not comfortable in the school where we are, we're going to have trouble learning.
Yes.
And so if we don't have the paras who are helping the teachers really make sure that this learning and education is happening, it's more difficult. Heck, being in a different school, being in a temporary unit, being in somebody else's school, all of those things really have echoed why this is so very important.
That is so true. And, we can't forget our superintendent and for the vision that he had for Terrebonne Parish.
Right.
That has been very instrumental in everything that has been done. Supervisors who work with our schools and give their time to work with teachers and principals. So it's everybody working together, one hand washing the other hand.
Right, and the school board.
And the school board, of course, because they have been very supportive.
Right.
To the employees of Terrebonne Parish.
Well, and it's got to be exciting for you as the Director of Human Resources, knowing that the whole team is a big deal, and you're responsible for making sure that we got the right people in the right places.
Well, we've been blessed. Right now, we are about 92, 93% fully certified teachers.
Wow.
And we're hoping that this upcoming school year, it will get even higher. The universities are not putting out as many teachers as they used to. However, we've invested in subs that we had, that we saw the skills and the desire to be the best of teachers.
Right.
And so that has helped us to raise our number of certified teachers.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on and sharing with us the great news. We want to keep talking about it. We're going to talk with some other members, but thanks for what you do and how long you've been doing it.
And thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on Bayou Time.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.